Hello friends, welcome to the lecture series of Industrial Engineering for the preparation of AMVI mains examination. From last couple of lectures we are dealing with the different topics of the industrial engineering. In last lectures we have studied about the different types of production processes, then different types of plant layouts, process planning, and then we have started discussing about the work study. So basically work study is the combination of two different areas, that is work measurement and the method study. Since last lecture we have started with the method study. We discussed about the process of method study. Now to continue with the method study, to know the process of method study, different types of charts and diagrams are preferred instead of describing each and every process in words, because it will take us so much time and it's going to be a very lengthy process. So instead of that, charts and diagrams are preferred. So let's know about the different types of charts and diagrams used for the method study in this lecture. To know about the method study, different types of charts and diagrams are used. These are the some of the charts and diagrams which we are going to discuss in this lecture. So the first is the operation process chart, which is basically required to know about the different activities under the method study, where various types of symbols are used. Second is a flow process chart, whereby we are going to discuss about the three different types of flow process chart, that is material type, worker or operator type, and the equipment type flow process chart. Third is two-handed process chart, where it is right-handed or left-handed process chart. Then it is multiple activity chart, sometimes which is called as a man-machine type chart. Then flow diagrams and the string diagrams. So let's understand in detail about each and every chart and the diagram. The first one is the process chart, whereby different types of symbols as shown here are used for the recording of the facts about the job which is in a process. So these are the some standard symbols which will record the different activities performed during the operation or the processing of the job. Now out of this, the first one is the operation. Now it is represented by a large circle. This large circle indicates the operation. Now operation takes place basically when there is a change in physical or chemical characteristic of an object. Now the operation or the activity may be like assembling of nut and bolt, or disassembly of some particular job, or calculation or planning. So any type of activity or the operation is symbolically represented by this circle. Second symbol is a square, which represents the inspection. Now inspection, or the we can call it as a checking. Now for example, if suppose the diameter of the job is required to check or inspect, then that time that activity of inspection or checking is represented by the square. So any type of inspection is represented by this particular symbol. The third one is an arrow. It represents the transport. Now this transport maybe refers to the movement of operator or movement of the object from one place to another. Now sometimes tools are having the movement with respect to machines, or with respect to the worker, or even operator is having always movement with respect to machine. Sometimes he is going to the tool room, sometimes he is going to the storage to collect the material. So that movements are represented by this arrow as a transport symbol. The next symbol is capital letter D, which indicates delay or the temporary storage. Now, delay means if the job or object or operator is waiting for getting performed or the waiting for going to the next activity. So that will be called as delay, or sometimes it is called as an temporary storage. So may sometime tool is waiting to process on the particular job, that time it is represented by this capital D. Or workpiece which is waiting to for getting processed on the machines, which is represented by this capital D. So that time it is in a waiting position. So it is considered as a temporary storage. So it can be known as delay or the temporary storage. Next is the triangle. This is the equilateral triangle. This is the equilateral triangle which is standing on its vertex. It represents storage. We can call it as a permanent storage. So storage takes place when an object is stored. When an object is stored. So for example, we can consider store room or the material storage. So there it is represented by this equilateral triangle standing on its vertex. Sometimes multiple activities are conducted same time or performed same time. That time these combined activities are also possible to represent. So this is represented like this when this job or the different types of tasks are performed at a time. So let's understand how these symbols are assembled together to represent all the activities required for the particular job. So this is one of the example for the job whereby this process chart is given completely. So it is actually bird's eye view of the overall activities performed for the particular job. So it is a graphical representation of sequence of all the operations and the inspection that is required for performing the process. Now some conventions are followed while preparing the process chart. So sometimes it is called as the outline chart also. So at the top of the chart, the title is written. Title in the sense for the job or for the process for which we are performing these activities. The chart is basically started from the right hand side at the top corner, and main component will be at the right extreme position, and then it is continued as per the sequence of the operation or the inspections, and it is represented by the different types of symbols. All the particular activities are represented by the numbers. That numbers too should be in a sequential way. That number should be in a sequential way till the completion of the all the processes. Now here different types of activities are represented. At the right side, the description of the activity is given, and at the left side, the time required for the particular activity is mentioned. Whereas these numbers are representing the sequence of the operations, and these horizontal lines are represented when there is a purchase of material or purchase of the particular part. This is represented by the horizontal line. All the symbols are connected by the vertical line so that one can understand the exact sequence of the particular operations. The second one is the flow process chart, where the flow or the sequence of activities of different type are recorded. Like the first type is man or worker type flow process chart, whereby it records the activities of the worker when that particular specific job is under observation. Second is material type flow process chart, whereby the movement of the material, how it is handled or how it is treated, that movement is recorded. The flow of the material is recorded. And the third one is equipment type flow process chart, whereby the equipment, how the machine or particular equipment is used, that activities or that sequence is recorded in this equipment type flow process chart. So let's take an example and understand basically how this process chart is represented. Now in this chart at the top, the title is given and all the operations are mentioned which are basically going to be there during this processing, like operation, movement, inspection, delay, storage and distance. And in this below, in that particular column, the symbols which represents that particular activity are given, like circle represents operation, arrow represents movement, square represents inspection, D represents delay, and triangle represents equilateral triangle represents storage. And at the left hand side, the details of the activities are given. Even the distance is given at the right side. The first activity is a requisition made out by department head. So this particular chart is there. For requisition of petty cash, so it is for requisition of petty cash, and all the activities to get the petty cash are mentioned here. Like first, requisition made out by department head, so it is an activity or the operation, so here it is mentioned as operation. Then it is then put up in a pickup flag, so it is in a waiting condition, it is in a waiting condition or temporary storage condition, so it is, then it will go to the delay, that is a capital D symbol. Then it will transferred, so it is a to accounting department, this is a movement, so represented by the arrow. Then account and signature is verified, so it is an inspection task. And then amount approved by treasurer is an activity, amount counted by cashier, bookkeeper, and then petty cash sealed in envelope. So all these are activities or operations which are there in a sequence. Then this, then petty cash sealed in an envelope, that is an activity. Petty cash carried to the department, it is a transportation or movement. Petty cash checked against requisition, so it is an inspection task. Then receipt signed, an operation. And then petty cash stored in a box, so it is stored permanently, so it is a storage symbol. So that way this all these activities are connected to each other by connecting with the different symbols. So easily with the one chart all the activities can be recorded, even the time for transportation and all the activity required can be recorded. So it can be optimized properly, that is what the aim of this particular process chart, flow process chart. The next one is a two-handed process chart. Now two-handed means it is a right hand and left hand process chart, whereby recording for the activities of each hand is recorded separately, right hand separately and the left hand separately. So it will be recorded by direct observation, it will be recorded by direct observation, and it will help that which hand is idle at what time. So there will be a proper synchronization or integration of the both the hands, so that that particular task can be completed in a shortest possible time. So it records activities of two hands of operator, and or it records the movement of one another hand in relation to each other. Now to represent this chart, basically these four activities are considered: operation, transport, delay, and storage. Now in case of operation, it represents the activities like grasp, use, release of tool component or material. In case of transport, the movement of hand or limb with respect to that particular tool or with respect to that particular machine is recorded. Delay, here delay refers to the time for which that particular hand is idle, so it is not in a working condition, that is also required to record. Next one is the storage. Storage in terms here considered as a hold instead of considering directly as a storage part. It actually refers to the time when the work is held by the hand. So here inspection is not considered, inspection is separately considered as an activity, so it comes under the operation part. So this is the example of two-handed process chart, whereby left hand and right hand is represented separately into different columns. And this is a operation of assembly of nut and bolt, and the symbols are representing the different activities. Now these two hands are represented in a single chart only. So the first activity is a pick up a bolt. So that bolt is picked up by the left hand. It is an operation, so it is represented by a circle. That time the right hand is in idle condition, so it is in a delay condition, so this is represented by a capital D letter. Now the next activity is a pickup of the nut, and that nut is picked up by the right hand. That time that right hand is shown with the activity, that is a circle. But similarly at the parallel time the left hand is in a hold condition, which has hold the bolt. So next activity is to carry that nut hold by the right hand to the left hand. So this is a activity of the movement from right hand to left hand. So that nut is carried from right hand to left hand, so it is shown by the transport arrow. But that time also the bolt is in a hold condition. And in the next activity is assembly of nut and bolt, but bolt is in a hold condition and the nut is tight against the bolt. So this is shown by the activity of the right hand, but left hand that time also it in a hold condition. So this will show that at what time the which hand is in idle condition and how the activities are processed further. Okay, so this chart will help us to synchronize both the hands to get the operation in a shortest possible time. Now, in case of multiple activity chart, which is also called as man machine type of chart, there are different types of activities. So there is a possibility of doing the multiple activities by a single worker, or a multiple or number of workers are working on a single job jointly. So to trace the synchronization, or how these all the workers are working on a single job, or how a single worker is working on a different machine. So to make it efficient, this multiple activity chart is used. So to activities are recorded on common time scale to know the interrelationship of each other. So interrelation will be in between the workers or in between the machines depending upon the case. So with the example, we'll understand it in detail. So here is one example of a multiple activity chart, that is a man machine type chart. So time is represented in one column, operation details are in another column, and different columns are there for man and machine. So as many workers are going to be there, that many columns, or as many machines, that many columns can be added. So the first activity is man removes the rubber hand. So it is activity done by the worker. So it is shown in the first column, but that time machine is idle, so it is blank. Then man picks up the weight from the hooper, deck is placed in the hooper, man replaces the weight in deck, and man pushes start button. So all these activities are done by that particular worker or the man. So he is in a working condition as shown as a working, and that time machine is an idle. But next activity or next job is performed by the machine. So machine is in working condition and man is idle. Again, the next man start working with the picking up the deck from the output stacker, and a rubber hand band is placed on the deck. So sometimes man is working, machine is idle, machine is working, man is idle, or maybe possibility that at a time both are working. So this way one can understand at how much time that particular machine is in idle condition or man is in idle condition. So easily we can spot here that for first 12 seconds the machine is in idle condition. So for that time, another worker or machine can be used for a different task. So this synchronization can be done properly by using this multiple activity chart. So this is a different type of diagram, that is a flow diagram, which is drawn to a scale. And the in this diagram, the relative positions of machines, material handling equipments is drawn accordingly as per the plant layout. And the path followed by men and material is marked with different colors, because most of the times equipments are at one place, but men and material, this is in continuously in a moving conditions. So that path is required to trace, because if that timing or that paths are able to optimize, then that timing can be saved and it will ultimately convert it into the profits or the cost in terms of the cost. So to avoid the backtracking, to avoid the congestion, to avoid the traffic issues, these type of diagrams are used. Now this is one of the typical example of the flow diagram. At the top of the chart, actually the job description or the job title is required. Then scale is also mentioned in the chart. Now here some machines are located, which is this diagram is drawn to the scale. The drilling machine is located, milling machine, slotting machine, inspection, shaper, and lathe machines. And these lines and the directions are showing how that main or material is moving across that particular machines. So it is very easy to understand for the backtracking, for traffic congestion, or unwanted material movement, or unwanted worker movement. So that can be seen or observed very easily. So it is very easy to trace that things. So ultimately it will again help to improve the plant layout. If there is an issue of traffic congestion, or if there is an issue of backtracking, a plant layout can be readjusted so that time savings will be there. Unnecessary movements can be minimized here properly by using this flow diagram. So generally flow diagrams are drawn to this scale. So if there are more number of movements, then accordingly number of lines are used, which can be represented on the diagram by different colors, on the different colors. Now the next one is the string diagram. There is a basic difference between string diagram and flow diagram. If there are repetitive movements, then it is very difficult to show with the lines, because so many movements, that many numbers of lines are going to be there, and then diagram is not able to read properly, because having so many lines in a single diagram. So that time string diagrams are preferred, whereby repetitive movements are occurring. So these diagrams are also drawn to the scale as per the plant layout, and recording of paths of men and material is carried out. It is preferred when paths are many more and repetitive, and various locations of various facilities are drawn to this scale. Now here, instead of lines, colored threads and pins are used. So here is the example which is shown here. Obviously at the top there is going to be a job description and the scale also. So these are some three machines, machine 1, 2 and 3, and movement from machine to the another locations is shown by this strings which are connected with the help of pins. So the man, that particular worker, is moving from machine to tool room to get the to collect the tool, to the store to collect the material, to inspection room to inspect the job, to the supervisor for consultation, to the toilet. So these movements are easily shown with the help of different strings. So even colored strings are also used in such type of string diagrams. So when there is repetitive actions, then this type of string diagrams can be used, and depending on the density of the strings for the particular paths, this plant layout can be improved again, so that there will not be a traffic congestion or the backtracking issues. So this will help in such a way that, so ultimately these different types of charts and diagrams are uh, used to understand or to continue the method study properly. It will describe the method of operation, way of operation, process of operation properly, and in a shortest possible time, in a easy way, and it can be understood very easily. With this, if we try to describe all these things in words in the lines format, it will have a very lengthy document, and it is very cumbersome to read the entire things. But with the help of chart and diagrams, in a single stroke, in a shortest possible time, one can read it very easily. So that is the use of this particular types of charts and diagrams. So today we have seen different types of charts and diagrams which are used for the conduction of the method study, which will help to improve the productivity, even the productivity in terms of plant layout, in terms of different factors. So we'll stop here, and in the next lecture we'll understand what is actually the work measurement. Till now we have seen the method study, different types of charts and diagrams, and now we'll move to the work measurement in the next lecture. So thank you so much for connecting with us. Do not forget to follow, like our Facebook page, and share our Facebook page with your friends, so that they can also get benefited with this lecture series. Also, do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Let's learn and grow together, and press the bell icon to know about the new upcoming lectures in this lecture series of the AMVI mains preparation. Thank you so much.